Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger.
Okay, so first things first, we have to give thanks to the family for actually turning them in. I mean, that's just, you don't hear that every day, that a family member will actually do that. So that's good. Secondly, 22-year-old, here's the mugshot right on the screen. It's what we've been warning for quite some time. When we continue to feed negative ideas to people who do not have critical thinking skills yet because their mind is still developing, like a 22-year-old who's at the university, they become radicalized, and they go from just intellectually disagreeing with someone like a Charlie Kirk to picking up a rifle and shooting him. That's exactly what happened here.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits.
All right, let's just pause a moment. So the roommate had become aware of what Tyler was up to. Maybe there's somewhere in there where he can explain why he wasn't able to connect the dots and didn't report his roommate. Or maybe he's just as radicalized as Tyler was. One thing is for sure, this was not a professional hit, as some believed. And, depending on the information at the time, one could say it was, given how easy he got away. But as more information continued to come out, you could see that technically it wasn't that hard to pull it off because the security wasn't as beefed up as if it was the president, obviously, visiting the university.
I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark. Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" exclamation point, "Catch!" exclamation point. Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao Ciao." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
Let's just connect the dots here. What side of the political spectrum is obsessed with using that word fascist? How many times has that word been promoted on social media algorithms, crammed down the throats of Americans? How many times has mainstream media used that word? So it doesn't take much in today's time to take someone from just intellectually disagreeing and saying they don't like a person to a point where they say, "I'm going to get a rifle and kill them." That's social media, that's the media, that's the people surrounding the individual, that's he went to a university. All of those negative ideas, through repetition, radicalize this guy.
I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history.
Okay, so his social media has been scrubbed. I mean, that's to be expected. His mother still has her account. Some people say she's still trying to remove posts, but people got what they wanted to get. And the bottom line is this. He was accepted into a university. We don't know how long he went to a university, but we are getting the indication that clearly somewhere along the way, someone got a hold of him and started feeding him radical ideas. Because if you look at the Discord messages, which they haven't released, he's only talking about it, the governor, someone was communicating with this guy. And the other disheartening thing is the engravings on the cartridge itself.
Governor, how do you interpret the engravings on casing?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "Catch Fascist," there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, so I'm with the governor. I think it's very clear what's going on here. Obviously, more information will come out, and we will learn much more about who he is. But let's just make sure we circle back to probably the most profound thing that I've been thinking about since this happened. It's how we respond that matters more than the event itself. How would Charlie Kirk want us to respond? Now, I know, being a conservative, that it's not common for us to go and riot in the streets, burn down businesses, blow up Tesla vehicles, assassinate people. That's usually not our MO. But that has been the MO of people on the left, definitely recently. So the question is, how will mainstream media respond? How will Democrats respond? Will they finally say, hey, we need to tone it down? My guess is no. But I'm hoping this is a wake-up call. And maybe that's just me being naive, but I like to think from a place of optimism because I believe God is in charge here.
But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency.
Yeah, that's just a phenomenal response by the governor. Good on him. I'm glad that he has really let God speak through him. I think that is truly a message for our country overall. You know, I just find it so frustrating at times that people, they go on social media and they just eat it up. You think I actually believe the stuff that I see from the right on social media all the time? Absolutely not. It's called social media for a reason. And my point here is that I want people to be able to think for themselves. And that's what Charlie Kirk was doing. He goes to the university, he just asks questions. And when you start asking questions, you start thinking. The problem is, I believe one side, they don't want to think. They don't want them to think. They want them programmed to believe a certain thing. Now, it happens on the right too. And overall, it's politics in general. It's all persuasion, propaganda, repetition. We cannot lose sight of our purpose here on this planet. Your life is bigger than politics. My life is bigger than politics. I talk about it every day, but this is not my life. My life is my service to God, my wife, and my family.
Radicals on the right as well. We have radicals on the left. People are watching all of these videos and cheering. Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem. And they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy. Although they want men and women sports, they want transgender for everyone, they want open borders.
Okay, so number one, I appreciate the president telling the truth that we have problems on both sides. I mean, let me give you guys an example on people on the right. I'll have messages or comments below my video talking about, I hate monkeys, I hate black people, but I like you. I don't know what that is supposed to mean, but I think that's nonsense, okay? Then I'll have people from the left who will send me messages talking about, I'm a coon, I'm a puppet for the white man, you know, I'm probably married to a white woman. It's all race-based. I'm not, but, you know, I don't know where that comes from. It's all hatred. It's evilness is the bottom line here. And the president's right to call it out. And there's no question on the left, they're radicalizing people in these universities. I mean, the numbers show it. There's only maybe one or two conservative professors to 100 liberal professors. I think that tells us what's going on here. Now, what's also going on is more disgusting coverage from MSNBC. So they bring on this criminologist who reacts to the engravings on the shell casings. She basically chalks it up to immaturity and a nothing burger. Take a listen.
One of the most striking details that we learned from this press conference were, again, about those bullet casings and the inscriptions, hey, fascist, the words Bella Ciao, the words, if you read this, you are gay. What do you see as the significance or what the message is that he's trying to communicate here?
Really, I would need to actually see these words in the way that they are on the bullet casings in the gun to make a proper interpretation. But just knowing what those words are, I'm kind of overwhelmed with how immature it all sounds, and that there is no really chronic theme. I think Brandy really nailed it. You have to make of it what you want, because, you know, it's like sees bulges, if you're reading this, you're gay, you know, catch this fascist, or hey, fascist, catch. It's like the rantings of a really immature your child. And we really need to learn a lot more about what was going on in this accused shooter's life when all of this was happening. Was he in a rabbit hole? Did he have no job? Did he have no purpose? How did he become such a consumer of hate? That his family reports he was talking in with hate speech about his feelings about the victim just at the family dinner the night before.
Listen, lady, it doesn't take a freaking degree or to be a criminologist to know how he became a consumer of hate. Just look on social media. Look at our politicians. Look at mainstream media. You put all three of those together and what do you have? Some divisive rhetoric. And it comes from both sides. So the difference is both sides respond to it differently. You see, conservatives, as I said earlier, we don't burn down Teslas. We don't burn down businesses. We don't riot in the streets. It's liberals that do stuff like that. We know what happened in Minneapolis. We see what happened in Portland. We see what happened in Seattle. We see what's been happening in DC. We can go on and on and on about this. And sometimes the answer is so simple. It's really rooted in common sense, but they refuse to accept it.
We get the impression he didn't live at home because they talk about the Discord messages with his roommate. But they also confirmed he is not a college student at the university where the crime happened. So I will be very interested to reconstruct what was going on in his life. Did he have a job? Did he go to school? Was he fired from a job? Did he apply to jobs and he was not hired? Did he, have just smoldering hate? Mostly my takeaway is that the writings on the gun and on the bullets really emulate everything we just saw a few weeks ago in the Minnesota Catholic school shooting. So I don't think this has been a long-term plan. I think it probably was hatched when this alleged shooter heard that Charlie Kirk was coming to the area, his area, in his backyard at a university that he could easily access, pass as a college student there, go up on the roofs. I mean, I have to tell you, I teach at a university where I see students going up on the roofs all the time.
Interesting.
So he had a lot of access to the venue, and he blended, and he knew he would blend. But I do think that this was something that just hatched when he found out that this man that he harbored hate for was coming to his area. And since we just had that school shooting in Minnesota, I think that is probably what inspired it.
Yeah, see, this sounds like some of the ingredients of an Antifa group who got a hold of him ultimately. And that's just speculation, obviously, my own opinion, okay? There's no official information that has come out to confirm that. Because if he first went to university, then dropped out of university, what was he doing between that time? Getting radicalized by somebody, some group, some Discord messaging or chat group, something. So obviously we will learn that as time goes on here. But guys, I'm telling you, we arrive at the same conclusion, okay? There are people eating up these negative ideas that are causing them to go beyond thinking for themselves to now emotionally reacting with hatred that also ends up leading to violence. Yeah, so now I want to get your guys' reaction in the comment section below. My first question is this. His family member turned him in. The FBI did not catch him. There's a significant difference here. What do you guys make of that exactly? Secondly, what do you think led him to take this action, to commit this heinous act based on what we know so far? 3, what do you think about the engravings on the cartridges itself? Hey, fascist, catch is the biggest one of them all. And the 3 arrows going down in a circle, that's Antifa markings, by the way. What do you guys make of all of that? Just give me your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section below. Okay, in our next video, we talk about the CCTV video that led to people getting an idea of what this guy actually looked like. But more importantly, there was a shooting at a high school called Evergreen outside of Denver. We get into that as well. So if you guys miss out on that story, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.